Exposed Radio.
Or if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
The real.
You right.
That's the real deal.
It's period.
Right.
And all that old money shouldn't go toward this, money should go to. If the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week, you don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show with your boy, brother Mike. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today. And as usual, I'm here with my teammates. And today they are my co-hosts. I want to welcome my main man, Mr. Derrick Woodson. How you doing, Derrick?
I'm all right, sir.
All right. And also, we got Samantha, glammed by Sam Dennis. Welcome to the show again, Miss Dennis. So y'all co-hosting with a brother today. This is awesome. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Today is another one of our exciting episodes of Constructive or Destructive. But we also have a few guests with us here today, so stay with us. First half of the show, we're going to be here with Mr. Leroy McKenzie of J&F Enterprises. He's going to be sitting in with us on the BBD radio show today, and he's going to give you a little insight of who he is and what he does. And he's going to be helping us out with some of this constructive or destructive. And then on the second half of the show, we will have Kendrick Tilghman, Vice President of Black Professional Men Inc., that's BPM, also known as DJ 5 Star. So make sure you hang out with us today. It's another exciting episode of the BBD radio show, Constructive or Destructive. But before we get into that, I'm going to send out some invites and get you all to join us today. And let's talk current events. What we got going on? Anything?
We got a couple things going on that I found that we can talk about. We can start off with 10 people being hospitalized after being mistakenly injected with insulin instead of the flu shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
away from
so
them shots, man.
that's a lot of lawsuits coming.
Whole lot.
And
I wonder what that would do. Like, did you get any insight on what that would actually do to somebody who doesn't require insulin shots?
Yeah, it says that EMS and fire crews responding, they found multiple unresponsive people. It was all in an elderly home facility. So they had contracted out to a person to just strictly give flu shots, and mistakenly he gave out insulin to patients that didn't need insulin. So and they were developmentally disabled, so they already couldn't communicate. So when they were found unresponsive, it made it that much more harder for EMS and fire crews to assess the situation and see what else was going on.
I hope those people survived that. That is horrible.
Yes. So that's terrible.
Did they say how the person made this mistake? I mean, if they're supposed to be a professional, it sounds like this is some outside contracting.
It is. It was a pharmacist that was contracted to go in and do it strictly flu shots. But what I will say is that I can understand the mix-up, not saying that it makes it right, but vaccines, they do come in vials.
Okay.
So if they don't come in like a pre-mixed syringe where they just have to attach the needle and give the vaccine, then they have to physically mix it from the vial, and those can sometimes be mixed up for insulin vials. So I can understand it because I know what they look like and being in that field.
I was going to say, explain to them why you have an expertise in this.
Working in the pharmacy, I can understand how they could get mixed up, but being that, that's his job, he should have double and triple checked before.
Yeah, because that is a serious mistake to have people have something injected into them that, they're not supposed to have injected in them. That is crazy. Okay.
Right. Starting this coming week, Instagram is going to test hiding their users' likes. So they're trying to make it a safe place as far as social media goes, and a lot of people are what's the word I'm looking for? Dependent on likes. Like how they view themselves depends on how many likes they get on social media.
Wow.
So Instagram
they're
is
about to change that?
They're taking steps to see if this has any sort of change as far as confidence. People that really plays a big part in who they are as far as how they do on social media. So Instagram is taking
wow, social media is
steps
really
to
affecting
change that.
people's the way they feel about themselves. That's what it sounds like.
You put out there that you put next to a picture of something you like, yeah, that's hurtful.
Right, especially if you have a lot of followers and nobody gives you that sort of feedback, and
So does that sound like a viable solution though? That Instagram
I don't know
plans to do?
if it's gonna be like a solution. I don't know. A lot of people are against it because they feel like that's how they brand themselves. I have so and so amount of viewers or so and so amount of
Right,
likes.
there's other
Right.
demographics to be considered before they make such a move, because everybody's not suffering from, I guess they believe it could bring on a certain type of illness within you mentally, where you're so concerned about, getting likes and, you know what I mean?
Right.
How many followers you have. And it also doesn't help with, like when you do business with other people. And, say like, for instance, a radio show, right? Internet radio show like this, and you have someone and you invite them to be a guest, and then they say, well, how many followers do you have? See, that too is playing an effect. You know what I mean? Because they don't even feel like you're worth, them coming to your show, right? If you already don't have a certain amount of following, so.
But that goes the same for with YouTube. You can't even get like a monetized account unless you can prove that you have such amount of following, that you have this sort of audience interaction. So a lot of that, I don't know how well that will work out for Instagram with taking up those. It's always me.
I got a bad mic on you.
Let me turn it off.
Getting some feedback. Stay with us, everyone. We're still here, but yeah, that is interesting. I can't really say that that's a good thing or a bad thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like I see what they're saying psychologically when it comes to certain individuals, but again, other individuals, because of their business and what they do, they depend on knowing how many likes they got and so forth and so on. Shout out to DJ Big Man, Dwayne Harrison. What's up, my brother? Yeah, we just are addressing the feedback right now, so we're actually working on that. But thanks for telling us that, because we didn't know until the engineer spoke on it. So a lot of times it's good that the people tuning in with us will actually give us some information and say, hey, it's a little feedback going on. So appreciate that, my brother. So let me get it up here too. Do me a little watch party.
It's so cold in here.
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay.
All right, good to go. All right. So what else you got going on with?
All right. So my last one is like a little bit. It's kind of a bit much, but a white restaurant manager in South Carolina is sentenced to 10 years for enslaving a disabled black employee.
Oh, I did see something about that.
Yes.
That's insanity.
So, Bobby Paul Edwards admitted to using violence, threats, and isolation and intimidation to force the employee, John Christopher Smith, to work as a cook at J&J Cafeteria in Conway, South Carolina. Prosecutors say Smith worked for more than 100 hours a week without pay for nearly 6 years.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Like, how could that even happen, right? Doesn't it make you feel that way? Like,
Right.
how's this happening, like current days, right? That is insanity.
It says, according to court documents, the employee endured beatings with a belt, choking, slapping, punching with a closed fist, and burning with tongs used in hot grease. That is just sickening.
First of all, that's crazy, but
That's out of control, isn't it? That is out of control. Good grief.
And only to be sentenced to 10 years.
Right. Well, we kind of know the deal with that.
Right.
Shout out to Miss Katina Copeland. Thank you, Katina, for letting us know that the feedback we were getting is now better. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, man, that was current events.
I know, right?
I know, you know, and people probably don't realize we tried to find positive current events,
but there's not a whole lot to choose from.
It's just not a lot of positivity going on in the world, especially in regards to what's happening with us as a community of people. It's often a lot of you know, negative things attached, but at the same time, as news personalities, we're obligated to still report on something. So yeah, that's terrible.
But that's all I got for today.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Mr. Woodson? Anything in current events you feel worthy of mentioning?
This is pretty much, excuse me, like an alert. I've been going down my timeline. I've been seeing so many black women disappearing.
Yes, and there's no attention being brought to it.
Every day there's either a young girl or, what's this camera?
We on this camera right here.
So because it's like kids, then it's, as well as young men are coming up missing as well. You know what I'm saying? Some are getting found, some are not. But the point of the matter is, most of them are just disappearing. Nothing's happening. No one's saying anything. Everybody's focused on this whack Popeye situation, and they're putting a main focal point on this instead of these young women coming up missing. Yeah, and we're going to actually talk about that today with Constructive and Destructive, because that's a part of it. So yeah, I agree, brother, and it's not any attention being brought to it, and it's a lot of black women that are popping up missing. And if you know anything about like what be going on with the underground black market for organs and things like that, then there's the whole sex trafficking thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm sure a lot of them are being snatched up for sex trafficking, and you know, it kind of sounds like something like, how could that happen? How could you, like an adult or young adult, be snatched up and put into sex trafficking? But it does happen. I actually saw a video the other day of one of the vans that was involved with sex trafficking. You seen that, right? Right. Yeah. So it can happen. You know what I mean? It can happen. What? Well, they have basically snatching the kids up, and they're having so many of their. For instance, they snatch a kid up, right? And then they transport him in the van that has oxygen in there, heat, all types of stuff, where they can park somewhere, pick somebody else up, throw them in there, and keep on going.
Yeah, it was crazy looking. You know, it just made you realize just how real this is. You know, like it's real out here. You know, like you have to be aware of your surroundings, and you know, as us as black men, you know, we got to try to protect our women better. You know, and you know, be willing to stand for black women when you see something going on. Like I love the video. It was from a while back, earlier this year, but it was the one black woman where the white dude was up in her face and she was pregnant, and he ended up like, and the one black man stepped up and he was a permit. He was like, hit me, and the dude hit him and he banged him in his mouth. Yeah, that's what we want to see. You know what I mean? Step up for our women. You know, make them feel protected. You know, and then the flip side of that is black women, you have to allow black men to do that, you know. So my example for that is when we step forward and go to bat for you because in the Asian beauty supply store, they treated you wrong, accused you of stealing. And then when we say, hey, listen, stop giving these people your money, look how they treat you, abuse you, and try to get you locked up. Y'all have to stop coming back and doing it, because that's what happens. It only works for 10 minutes. And then next you know, the black women are coming back, and then they talking trash to the men that's out front. And, you know, and trying to protect them. But anyway, so that's enough of that for current events. But stay with us. We up on our first break. It's the Black Body Band Radio Show. We are talking Constructive today, and we will be back with our first guest, Mr. Leroy McKenzie of J&F Enterprises. Stay with us. It's the BBD Radio Show.
Then it's usually with a plate full with no spoon. Ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste. I've been bad, burned and fucked over, but remain strong through the past. So kicking haters out of the way like mast over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't a man to me to let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, no pan I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see. I peep the haters, they know I'm greater. That's why they buzzing for the elevator, but I can't save it. It'll be too loud on the pedal stool. Don't carry fakers. Always got your hand out demanding favors. When I just looked out, now you need more paper. I can't breathe, give me 3 feet. I never let let y'all be the death of me. When my patients run thin, yeah, nigga OT, cause they wanna see me down like I'm an NCT. 6 words, get the fuck away from me, say I help you out if you can help yourself. I keep it G till I DIE. Now excuse me while I get back to PC. HOP ain't music sleep while your third eye always on me. I'm steady green just to feed the team. My boo, she know that I'm king when chasing my dream. These niggas it seems I rip them, trash them, then put on new jeans. Man, see the problem is, man, you know, I keep it 100, man. Yeah, man, like if I got it, then you got it. Yeah, man, but if I don't got it, then I'ma give it. You feel me? But I definitely got you through the ride, man. Let's get it, yo.
I'm really getting tired of ungrateful ass niggas. They really about to turn me to a hateful ass nigga. Like I was never there when you never had figures. Pull triggers for you niggas when you caught up in the trenches. Man, I really don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but I really don't feel it. Niggas really know that I've been there from the beginning. But the more I see niggas side switching, make me wanna bring it closer to the end. And that's why I can't fuck around with these niggas. I'll fuck around with my hoes.
Thought you was gonna have my money today.
Man, it is what it is.
Then last week you told me your wife was cooking.
Man, it is what it is.
Then again, I don't think I want your wife cooking because you don't like it.
Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio. It is what it is. 9/11.
Are they ready to? I know they're not ready to accept it, but yeah, exactly. That's my whole thing. Like, how many of them are really ready to think about it like that?
None.
You know, like
I think the problem is
like
I don't even know how we got here, but it's inbred. You're not born to hate people. You're not born to distinguish between black and white and Asian and Hispanic. That's something that you're taught. You're taught. Point blank, period.
Straight up.
My daughter came home and told me that her white teacher was black. Maybe it's because it's how she treated us. She don't see any color. But when it comes to all her friends, all her friends are mixed. All of her friends have a white parent, black, African, Hispanic, other parent.
So
children don't see color. You breed your children. Not breed. Right. You raise your children to see that.
Yeah, most definitely.
They don't see racism.
Well, I guess
I met a little girl who had a black doll, and she said because the black dolls are prettier than the white dolls. But then I've taken a black doll and a white doll and put it in front of two kids. And it's a study that they've done before. You put it in front of two kids, and you put it in front of a kid, and you ask them which one is the nice one.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K. Check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back, family, to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. And as I told you, today's show is about constructive and destructive. But we're going to introduce our special guest today, Mr. Leroy McKenzie of JNF Enterprises. How you doing, Mr. McKenzie?
I am awesome. I'm awesome. I'm honored to be here. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, we are honored to have you here. And for those who don't know, Leroy is actually one of my BPM brothers. I'm a proud member of Black Professional Men Inc., and this is one of my brothers.
Absolutely.
So we wanted to bring him on the show today so you guys can get familiar with JNF Enterprises and what Mr. McKenzie here does within the black community and does for us to help us advance ourselves. So Leroy, if you want to take a minute and just tell them a little bit about JNF Enterprises, it's your show, brother.
I appreciate it. JNF Enterprises is a distribution, publishing, and business consulting firm that's located here in Baltimore.
Nice.
And what we do is we actually assist individuals as well as authors as well as businesses to be able to bring their visions to reality, but also impact the communities that they are a part of.
Yes, yes, I love that. So notice what he said is to impact the communities.
Absolutely.
So you're not just dealing with people who just out to make a dollar. You know, Mr. McKenzie's a part of a community of people who want to do things business-wise, but also improve the community.
Absolutely.
Which makes him such a proud member of BPM, because this is what BPM is all about, you know, empowering the youth of Black Americans, you know what I mean, and moving forward. So we honored to have him here with us today. So again, we thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you for inviting
me. So look,
me.
you're going to have a little fun with us here today. Right?
That's what I heard.
All right, so we're going to get into constructive and destructive. And we definitely want to get your opinion, your perspective, on these particular little subjects that we're getting into. All right, so now that you all familiar with Mr. McKenzie, let's have a little fun. He's going to hang out with us a little bit today. So we're getting into constructive or destructive, and most of the audience is pretty much familiar with these type of shows where we go over certain topics and we decide, is this constructive or destructive? So I want to get right into it. I want to get right to this, right? So first up to the plate, I'm going to skip over this other one, right?
I want to get to the juicy stuff.
Yes, we'll get to the juicy stuff, right? So let's talk about, if you guys are familiar, Byron Allen versus Comcast. Let's talk about this. Is anybody familiar with this case?
I started watching the Breakfast Club interview, but I didn't get that far because it was a long one.
Are you familiar with it? Okay, so here's the breakdown. So Byron Allen is a mogul, he's a billionaire, right? So he's been buying up television stations because he believes in the black community being able to have their own media, which is why we have the Black by the Man radio show. So in the process, the big dogs, Comcast and Charter, they refuse to put his channels onto their lineup of cable. So Byron took him to court and sued him. They went twice. He won both times, right? And what he is saying is this is a part of institutional racism where they are excluding economic growth and development for African Americans in particular. So he's taking them to court on this because he's saying they have a history of doing this. Comcast appealed it the first time. It went to the appeals court, and Allen still won. So now they're taking him to the Supreme Court. Now, the problem is what's at stake is that Comcast is actually trying to reverse the law that was put in place for us to have civil rights and economic inclusion into the development of America. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is they're taking him to Supreme Court. Byron was asked, well, why don't you drop the case, being that it's at risk of them trying to attack our actual civil rights. And Byron is saying, I didn't take them to Supreme Court. They took me.
Right.
I'm not in a position to drop it. But I'm not going to give in to them. He said, because you don't understand that they want me to give in with no guarantee that they're going to negotiate with me.
Right.
You get what I mean? They're asking him, drop it, and then maybe we'll sit down at the table. And Byron is saying they would not be doing that if I wasn't black. They would work this out so it never went to court.
Right.
So they're trying to force his hand by saying, hey, if we go to court, then we're going to push to revoke. You guys having your civil rights to be even economically included. And for those who are not aware what that means is they won't have to include us, and there will be no law that says that they have to. So when it comes to big business, even though Byron's a billionaire, they can still say, hey, but you're not going to have your television shows aired through us.
Right.
And we run everything. Talk to me. I'll start with Mr. Woodson first.
Basically what they're doing is they're doing a tactic of fear. Because they're saying that if he presses the issue, now us as black people, what we're going to do out of fear, we're going to tell them, excuse me, basically to fall back. Because if you risk this and lose, then we fail.
Yes.
So in other words, what I'm saying, me personally, I want to push it all through.
Yeah, on his interview with the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne asked him that, do you think this is worth it? And of course, Byron said, absolutely. You got to remember, they're taking me to Supreme Court. I've already won twice,
right.
So it's not me, and I'm not going to give in. And then I know the impact it's going to have on us as a community of people. Right. Like they're pushing us further down to being what they would classify as permanent second-class citizens. You know what I mean? So, Mr. McKenzie, what's your take on this case?
Well, I watched that whole episode on the Breakfast Club, and it was just powerful to me.
Yes, it was.
And a lot of people have slept on Byron Allen. He's been around for years.
Long time. Yes.
Years. I remember
Shout
him being a comedian, and starting off as a comedian and everything. But what you can see his growth and how he's become the media mogul that he is now.
Yes.
But to see him talk on on the Breakfast Club and about that very thing that you talked about, having to just get all the way to the Supreme Court now. I'm like the brother was saying, I'm all for it. I think you take it and we're gonna finish this.
We're gonna finish this.
We're gonna finish it because that law that you talked about in that the episode, he talked about that law being inputted and put in place to protect us. Actually, it was kind of, let's say, compensation a little bit for the 40 acres and a mule.
Bingo.
That we were supposed to get,
yes,
of course, which we didn't get.
Yes.
But this gave us access to being able to have financial opportunities and being able to have shows, or whether to have different industries that we could have an integral part of, and play an integral part of, and that's key.
That's key.
People got to understand, this is bigger than just the media.
Yes,
it's bigger than just him, and he's even said that this is bigger than just him.
Yes.
This has to do with not just that law, but you're talking industries across the board where we are trying to have a significant presence in.
Yes.
And which is key, because you want to not only just be in a particular industry, you want to be able to impact it.
Yes.
You want to have a percentage. Can you imagine the leverage that we could have if we are able to grasp a signical share?
Yes.
Of media, we know about media and how impactful that is. But you're talking all across industries, having significant shares in them.
Absolutely.
The wealth that's created from that.
The wealth, the whole nine.
The power that's created from that.
The power that's in that, brother.
So, and the other thing that you talked about, they took him to the Supreme Court. He's already won. He said in the ninth, which gives him strength going into, because the Supreme Court be like, well, there's no need for us to even see it because we agree with the federal court.
Right. The case has been decided.
They kick it back down to them. They may not even see it. That's the thing.
Yeah, true. Very, very
so
true.
It's going to be very interesting, and I don't know if you mentioned the date, but that's this week.
That's this week.
It goes. It actually it's on the docket to be able to go. So for those that may not know, tune in, because that is very, very significant.
That's a very important case. Stay with us. We up on our first break. It's the Black Bottom Man Radio Show with Mr. Leroy McKenzie. We'll be back. Absolutely. The impact it's way bigger than it.
You're now listening to BeExposedRadio.com. Check out this fire flashback.
We need to relearn what it is to be these bosses and how we conduct ourselves as business-minded individuals and just people in general. I let my gut, and if I call it gut or God or whatever, I'm led by that energy. I know where it comes from. I know where it's, taking me, and you have to figure out what is important to you, and don't play this game. It's a game that we've learned to play, this chess game, and life is not a chess game. Life is real, bones, flesh, blood, decisions.
Make sure you check out the Artist Exchange Show every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Shiny things, I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Where I'm from, don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show with your boy, Brother Mike. I forgot my own name. All right, so today we are here with special guest, Mr. Leroy McKenzie of J&F Enterprises. And again, Leroy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And we were sitting here discussing the first topic on constructive or destructive, which is Byron Allen versus Comcast. All right, so to give you more clarity, I'm going to talk about the question. So during the interview, Byron's talking to a white reporter, and he basically says, well, how would you feel, like as a white person, with your daughter, and everything she sees through the media, right? Television, media, social media, the whole nine, was being controlled by me, was being controlled by black people. But it's what your white child gets to see.
Right.
So you know this is going to play a part in how she lives her life, what she believes in, her values, so forth and so on. And the guy said, I wouldn't like that. And Byron's like, that's exactly what I'm telling you it is for us.
Right.
Everything that our children see is being controlled by someone else. And we want a piece of being able to control what our children are going to be seeing.
Right.
You know, now let me ask you, Mr. McKenzie, as a business owner yourself, do you foresee how this could affect you? You know, if the Supreme Court was to overturn our civil rights case, you know, like with your business, being a business owner.
Well, I think the way that it would impact me is like we talked a little bit during the break, was about the increase in the market share. And being able to impact industries, because we already have it where they block you to a certain extent. They'll let you gain, you know, to a certain extent, but then it's like, okay, no, you got them for enough. That's it. That's important.
Right.
You know, so those kind of things are evident, and that would certainly be, you know, affect me along with, you know, other, you know, black entrepreneurs that are out here that are in particular industries and will be able to grow.
Right.
And be able to, because once you get on that radar, that's it. It's like boom, okay.
They don't stop till they get you.
Yeah, who is this? You know, who is it? And trust me, they know, they'll find out who you are when you're in particular industry. So I think it would have a great impact on, you know, on me personally.
Yes, I think it would too, because it's going to stifle any type of growth at that level. Like you said, you're gonna reach a glass ceiling.
Right.
But they say you can't go no further than this. You know, like we let you make 90 million. We can't let you get into the 100 million.
Exactly.
That's where the fear kind of comes into play. Because as a man, like I don't own my own business, but I've been hearing y'all talk about it.
Right.
You're successful in your business, and you're like, well, if he does this, can affect me. It affects my children, my livelihood, my home, and everything. So that makes other people back away from this, and well, you know, I want no parts of this because it's going to affect me.
Right.
But I'm looking at the broader picture. We're already getting affected right now, all of us. People with no business, people just living at modern day lives. So I'd rather go down fighting. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being, okay, we're going to say, we'll back out, we'll give you a penny, flick it to you.
Right.
Take that. Instead of he's going, he won twice already. He was champ.
Yeah.
He got him on the rope. So now, you got him on the rope, so now you say, quit down.
Yeah, and not only did he win twice, but he didn't win them consecutively. And what I mean is he took to court twice.
Right.
So one he won, and then the second one he lost. Right?
Okay.
And then he appealed that.
Right.
And then when he went back to the appeal, he won.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Right.
So that really should have been ball game.
Yeah.
But because the next step of appellate is Supreme Court.
Right.
And Byron Allen's like, I don't need to go to Supreme Court. You know, like we won. They see our perspective. Because the case that he initially had lost, and I think that was against
Charter. He lost against Charter.
Right.
And when he lost against Charter, but won against Comcast, what he said was Comcast decided to go to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And he said, well, if you're going to take me to the Supreme Court, he said, if you're going to take me to the appealing court.
Right.
He said, I'm going to take Charter.
Right.
And that's how he won.
That's how he won.
Exactly. That's how he won that.
So they're the ones who even made him consider taking Charter. And they figured, hey, if he lost the first time, he's going to lose again. But he actually won.
Right. See, my thing is that we have been kicked, slapped, punched, to turn around to the opposite direction for so many years. Like, this is the point in time where this is the stand right here. No guts, no glory. Right here, right next. We can keep continuing to take this abuse. Like he has to go to fight for a right to be seen on TV.
Yes.
And it's crazy. He's not asking for us to brainwash anyone or to hurt anyone, to harm anyone. I just want my people to be able to have a voice, like you have for so many years.
Absolutely, and he just wants us to support him, you know, because he is fighting for us. Now, as a millennial, I know you may feel like, you know, this may not have such an effect on you, but I'll give you an example. When we talk about controlling media content, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
Right? You have a, 5-year-old child? All right, so you want to know that some of the content that she's going to be seeing is being controlled by people who have a better interest at heart than not her interest at heart.
Right.
You get what I mean? That's how serious it is. I want to talk about the mentioning, and maybe Leroy, maybe you're familiar with this, but they're speaking about how Comcast is invoking the Department of Justice through the Trump side.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't have all the details on that.
Right.
Like, are you more familiar with that?
Well, the only thing that he said was they get 30 minutes in front of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And he said what Comcast did was they got whatever the agreement is, or it was kind of a referral from the Department of Justice to write them this letter, the letter saying they agree with what they're doing and all this, that, and the other. And they're giving them 10 minutes of their time. Now, this is the Department of Justice. It's supposed to be our Department of Justice.
That's what I'm saying.
For us as a people, that they have now brought in to try and trying to take back or roll back that actual law.
Right.
He said from because the law was in 1866, to roll it back to before back to 1865, which was where it wasn't even in place and everything like that. So that's major. Where you're taking the Department of Justice that's supposed to be for the people. That was probably, I don't know if it was even in effect. Department of Justice was formed back in 1865 to even be a part of this or whatever. They talked about the laws and stuff like that. But that says something where they would actually want to bring in the Department of Justice to be able to try and turn back a law.
Turn back a law that's for the people.
I said, wow.
That's powerful. And a lot of people are saying that they're able to do that because we're under Trump. It's a Trump administration.
Exactly.
Versus under a different president, they might have said, hey, listen, Department of Justice is not getting involved.
Would it have even gotten that far under a different president?
I would like to think it wouldn't have, you know what I mean? But even if it did, they would not have loaned you the Department of Justice. Think about what you're saying. They got 30 minutes to say what they got to say. And then they're saying, we're going to give 10 minutes of this to the Department of Justice. Literally the biggest, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, who better to have on your team? Right. You get what I mean?
Right.
It's like campaigning for something with basketball. And they say, well, we give you 30 minutes to explain why we should let you have this basketball camp. And they say, okay, cool, we're going to give 10 minutes of that to Michael Jordan. Right. He's going to show up and then talk to y'all about, and that's going to help, persuade people. So the fact that they would allow that to happen, and it deals with something that's on a level of revoking rights that was given to us. Because like Mr. McKenzie said, we didn't get the 40 acres and a mule. Right. What they did give us is this so-called civil right that would give us inclusion in economic development.
Absolutely.
And in all reality, they've been stopping us from having that economic development. Right. So Byron Allen's up on that level now where he can have a serious impact because he is now buying up media. And media is the number one tool to control anything.
Say that again. Say that again, boy.
Number one tool. So media is important. So that's what that case is about. So at the end of the day, there are people that are concerned about the risk. Like what if you lose and then they revoke this? But of course, I'm with Byron Allen. I say, we fight this all the way to the end. So for me, Byron Allen versus Comcast, constructive. Mr. Woodson. Oh, go ahead.
Just real quick, what's significant about that, what you were saying about Byron Allen, I think, and him, and it made me think about when you were talking about, he understands that this was bigger than him.
Yes.
But also that, if you remember the movie Selma with Dr. King, and he was having a conversation with one of the gentlemen, and they were talking about the civil rights movement and them moving forward.
Right.
And he had just walked away from coming off of the bridge. He had walked back and was turmoiled about did he do the right thing and all of those things, and he was telling the guy that this is bigger than me.
Right.
And he understood that there was going to be a cost to stepping up and doing what he was doing. And now you have, and not to say that Byron Allen is even anywhere on Dr. King's level or whatever, but the fight is still is similar.
Yes,
and
the
the
fight's
same
very similar.
because he understands that there's a cost to it, and he's willing to pay that cost and say, you know what, this is not just for me. This is for my daughters.
That's right.
Your daughters.
Yes.
Our children that are going to be generations and generations will be hopefully the benefactors.
Absolutely.
Of him winning this Supreme Court case, or or if it goes back down to the to the appellate court. Either way, but hopefully that he will come out on the positive side of it,
right?
And it will affect generations to come.
Absolutely, and that's what we need more of. We need more of us to care. Like I do it on a lower level with the BBD radio show,
right?
But it's the same deal. I care about what's going to happen to us as a community of people. I want to be a part of doing something that helps improve us. Like being that we are under systematic oppression, all of us cannot take the stance of, I'm just worried about me and mine. Some of us have to say, no, we got to try to do things that benefit everybody. So a question that I remember that always would come up, and this is when I was going to school, when I was in college, was out of financial power, right? Does more responsibility arise out of that? Like in layman's terms, the more money you have and the more successful you are, does more responsibility come with that to do something for your community and for your people?
Definitely.
Right? I agree also, but some people don't. Some people feel like, well, no, I earned this on my own. Nobody helped me do it. So, I just got to take care of me and mine. But I just thought I'd get you guys' take on that.
There's a lot of folks that feel like that.
A lot of them, right? I was trying to be nice, right?
But I think the thing is, though, too, I think that a lot of folks aren't willing to pay the cost.
Yes.
And that's what I have conversations with my mom, and she talks about the civil rights era and all of those things. She was like, they were, you had those that were willing to pay that cost.
They were willing to pay that cost.
They were willing to put whether it was their lives, their money, which they didn't, they didn't have a whole lot. All of that they had to make sure that we benefited from it.
So you and I could have this conversation.
Exactly. And those of us who are the benefactors of that now have said, like you said, I got mine.
Yeah, we got
I'm
2 lakhs.
good.
Yeah, we got 2 lakhs. We got 2 lakhs. When I talk to brothers, and they'll ask me about why I feel the way I feel about trying to give something back to the community, and and I tell them, listen, like I don't want to leave Earth knowing that I left my children, your children, our children, in a position no different than the whole time I was there. Like I didn't do nothing to make it better for my son, your daughter. Right. You know what I mean? It's a level of responsibility. I want to know that I tried to contribute. Right. So I guess I just have that spirit that they had from the the 60s.
Absolutely.
Where we care about what's going to happen, and I think more of us need to get that way. And I think we are in a society through social media that is showing us the results when we don't care. See what happens with the kids getting killed in the street, drugs, gangs, so forth and so on. So we got to start caring. And I'm just proud of Byron Allen for being, the front man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
And stepping up to the plate. Like I don't want to knock any other billionaires that do other things like pay for people's college and things like that. But Byron's doing something different. Byron's he's fighting for us to have this economic inclusion. Yeah, go for it, brother.
See, my thing with Byron Allen, I'll make this real quick. With Byron Allen, he's taking a stand.
Yes.
And he's not a rapper. He's not a basketball player. He's not one of these guys who, even when he's a rapper, for example, you're a billionaire and you're making money, giving people money, getting them out of jail, stuff like that. But your music is sending them to jail. It's an oxymoron. It makes no sense.
True.
I'll bail you out.
Need a bell on that.
And then I'll put you up on there, and then I'll sign you to a rap contract. And you have to talk about money, drugs, and hoes.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Right.
I'm going to have to bail you out eventually, so I'm going to put some money aside. But this man, every man has a fault, no matter who you are. But I've been watching this man for the last 20 some odd years, late night till at 2 o'clock in the morning, interviewing people. Like you say, he's body bubble. So his character has always been the same.
Good. That's good to know, brother.
My thing with him is, I want my son to be a Byron Allen.
Sure.
Not a LeBron James.
Wow.
Not a Jay-Z. Not a Lil Wayne. This man is basically saying we can make something in this world. Our voice should be heard.
Right.
I don't want to hear about the guns and the drugs and the cars you got. Our voice should be heard that we can teach our kids over and over again.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We up on break again. It's the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. We are talking constructive or destructive with special guest Leroy McKenzie of J&F Enterprises. We'll be back. Yeah, very true, brother. Very true.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be the man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. What you up to, just go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all the homies head. I could wait for your response.
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Black by Demand radio show.
Control. They said she wouldn't so they didn't know if she had a weapon. So it's just a mess. So yeah, you do have to have these discussions with your children.
You do, and you have to make them aware of that there is an enemy out there. Every time the police pull you over, or every time you have an interaction with the police as a black person, you are at risk of being in front of your enemy. Hopefully, it's not a police officer that wants to demonstrate that he's your enemy, but we all see it's a high probability of that being the case. So if we're not talking to our children do not have the coping mechanisms to deal with these type of intense situations. What they're going to do is what most of us do as black people, me and anyone else, which is become emotional. And that is the trigger point for the police. They know that black people are emotional people. So when they arrive on the scene, they are purposely trying to say and do things to you to get your emotions up, right? And then once they get your emotions up, then it's like, oh, that's what we needed. Now we're going to kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. You know, so I'm saying we need to have these discussions with our children, you know, and make them understand in this day and age, and it's every day and age really, but we'll just say this day and age for the sake of it being so prevalent on social media, like you have to understand what you're getting yourself into. And I think a lot of us as black people are just scared to still tell our children that there are a group of people out here that are your enemies.
Join us every Monday at 12 noon for Black by Demand radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back everybody to the BBD radio show. We are talking constructive and destructive with our special guest, Mr. Leroy McKenzie. So we're going to wrap up on Byron Allen versus Comcast. I say constructive. Mr. Woodson. Constructive. Ms. Dennis.
Constructive.
Mr. McKenzie.
Constructive.
Constructive. Byron Allen, keep on doing your thing, brother. We support you from the position that we have, and I'm using my media to also bring attention to it so people who didn't get to see what you're trying to do can even learn it through our show. So yeah, let's go with constructive on that. Okay, all right.
That was interesting.
That was very interesting, right? All right, let's move on to the next one. Constructive or destructive? Popeye's chicken sandwich.
How do you go for some shit conversation? We go from Byron Allen, right?
You know, I'm rocking on this because the powers that be media is broadcasting all this around.
Yes.
How black act like buffoons.
Right. So go back to Byron Allen. This is what he wants to control.
Well, let me ask you this: Is it the media showing us acting like buffoons, or is it us acting like buffoons
and the media
taking advantage of it?
That's a good one.
That's a real good one.
You know what? It's actually the truth what he's saying, because
absolutely
at the end of the day, if I go in there, we're just sad too, because we'll put World Star, as soon as somebody get popped, we'll put it up in there, just run it.
Yeah, so isn't that something?
You go ahead, you can take that. You got me on that one.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, it is. Because it's just
I'm with Mr. McKenzie.
Me too. I got a problem.
Really, it's us acting a fool. Somebody recording it. You get what I mean?
Basically.
It's us acting a fool. So, as far as our reaction to a chicken sandwich, you get what I mean? It's just a chicken sandwich, right? So let me ask this. So this is their second run with it.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the first run. Do we think that because of what happened with the first run, it led to the second one being just as bad? You know, like, are people feeling some type of attachment? They want to be a part of this madness. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it was such a madness, and then they ran out, and then everybody was mad about that. So then now that it's back, like, I'm seeing people on Facebook that are on there showing off, like, hey, I got my Popeye's chicken sandwich. So is it a percentage of us that's loving this drama that's coming from this?
I think black people just like drama.
We talked about earlier about the current events about the likes and stuff like that. You know, you promote these sandwiches and stuff like that. Before you know it, you got went viral and stuff like that. So it's more about people being seen.
And why can't we see what's going on with this? Why can't we see we're being taken advantage of?
Over a chicken sandwich.
Over a chicken sandwich.
I think that's what's so irritating to me is that it's a chicken sandwich. Like, we could do so much other things. We could be hype about so many other things. We could be hype about Byron Allen and be going nuts.
Get a bell for
but
that.
it's a chicken sandwich, and that's what's so embarrassing and disrespectful to me, that it's like, as a black woman, who wants to see another black person getting beat up in Popeyes over a chicken sandwich?
Stabbed,
like, it's just
shot.
not that serious to me, and the fact that we're blowing it up to be like this big craze is just ridiculous. And I don't agree with it.
Mr. McKenzie, as a professional man, business owner, when you see this kind of behavior on social media, what does it make you think?
Well, first of all, it just upsets me that we act like that.
Right.
You know, I think we as a people need to have a different mindset.
Yes.
I mean, I've had chicken sandwiches, upon chicken sandwiches, but I'm sorry, I've never had something that's going to make me act, just that crazy,
right?
Or that just that stupid, and I haven't even had it yet.
Do you even plan to try it?
I mean, I may honestly, I may just to kind of to see how good the sandwich is, and everything like that. But me personally, if I do, I do. If I don't, I don't.
Right.
I'm not, I'm not worried about standing in a long line, trying to, just trying to argue with somebody or whatever. Like the last thing with, they talked about the person that got stabbed was because somebody had jumped them in line. Right. But that's not what you hear. All you hear about is they talking about the chicken sandwich.
Right.
As opposed to somebody's rude behavior.
Right.
After, whatever happened.
Very valid point. Very valid point.
I mean, and even somebody got body slammed or something like that. I heard they were in Popeyes. I think there was a woman, a guy, one of the employees or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think wound up getting into an argument or whatever, and the woman got she got slammed or something like that. I don't want to speak on it because I'm not totally familiar with it. But it's just been things that are you just say, wow, how can we, like I was saying about acting this way? I mean, it's over a sandwich. I could understand if we were acting like this about, like we were talking about Byron Allen, about our civil rights. Can you imagine if we got this upset about our civil rights possibly being taken away from us?
And that's kind of what I want to know. Why are we so willing to dedicate this type of energy towards this versus, like you said, something that's going to impact us and improve us more? I mean, like, this is savage behavior over a chicken sandwich.
Right.
You get what I mean? Over a chicken sandwich. So, like, what is it that we feel we want to act this way? I'll read a comment here. Miss Sonia Jones says, so Popeye's chicken sandwich is the new Air Jordans. Yeah, evidently. You get a bell for that.
Wow.
Miss Katina Copeland says, I don't want the sandwich because something not right. Yeah, and see that now, you know how my mind
Somebody was saying that too.
Yeah. You know how my mind works. I'm thinking, man, 20 years from now, them chicken sandwiches is going to have an effect.
Did you see the meme where it was like, 20 years ago you ate a Popeye chicken sandwich and you now have or suffer from mesothelioma, like those
you're gonna have mesothelioma,
right? For like a class action lawsuit. 20 years ago I ate that Popeye chicken sandwich.
And the memes with McDonald's like, we've been selling chicken sandwiches for years.
Right.
Y'all ain't never acted crazy over
us. Got me. It was one individual white man inside this one Popeye.
Oh, I saw that.
It was only one. Mm-hmm. And the person actually was talking about it. did they send him in there?
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it.
Because you're around, like I'm not going into an establishment where there's 100 white people,
right,
and I'm gonna start screaming cracker.
Sure,
I'm just not gonna do it.
Right.
And he made a lot of comments.
Wow. And they beat him up when he went outside. Right?
Yeah, when he went outside,
they gave him that work.
But
they lit him up.
You never showed that. All they showed him was on the ground.
Yeah, right.
You never showed him get hit, stabbed, or nothing.
Right.
But when we're getting hit, it's showing everything.
Absolutely. So that goes back to Byron Allen with controlling the media.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We up on the next break. We're going to be back with our second special guest, Mr. Kendrick Tilghman, Vice President of Black Professional Men, Inc. We'll be back. It's the BBD Radio Show. Yeah, you're right.
Chicken sandwich.
When you said that,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. And
exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature, and I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if I'm living in somebody else's shoes?
And nobody can do what you do, and I think that that's a big problem that people face now. Like, you see what somebody else is doing and you want to do that when that's not your lane.
That's not your lane.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's popular, it's getting that person money, it's getting that person applause. Oh, I want applause. I want money. Let me stand over here behind them.
And then a lot of times people aren't honest with themselves either. Like, I was thinking earlier today, I've been woke for almost 2 days, so so you get honesty, yes. And I was thinking, like,
The Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'ma show these niggas what to do with one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world and found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion. And her mama hated babysitting with a passion. She deserved better circumstances. A black queen, she should've been blessed with certain chances. Look down upon, getting all of hurting glances. Making men change up all the twerking stances. She never cried about the pain, only gritted her teeth. But most soldiers never get a flower or a wreath. She like G.I. Jane in the war with no relief. Don't recognize why killers was going through her beef. She said more prayers than the nun did. After seeing so much struggles with only one kid, the clinic said baby number 2 couldn't be undid. 9 months later, delivery and it's one big. But this time it was an older dude. But this shit happened so fast, she barely know the dude. Damn, but we all make mistakes though. And the older we get, that's how mistakes go. So he claimed the baby, now with no money. He said shit was hard and his dollars was kind of funny. Gwen was feeling like that was strike 2. So when it rains and pours, that's just how life do. She was thinking about her childhood and how life flew. Her daddy she always loved, but she never quite knew. This was before the bags and the cellulite grew. Other bitches in her shoe, no telling what they might do. You lose a lot of friends, they start to despite you. Passing judgment when they don't got the right to. And even though I love the gangsters, the same for the gangsters. I remember you no matter how big the fame gets. Paint a perfect picture, baby you can frame this. As long as I'm slapping, you will never be nameless. While I was robbing, you did things that was shameless. Both products of our environment, we was blameless. They deserve better, those women who raised men. Who went out of town with us in that them days in. Got slammed right with us when the fairs blaze in. Not only men is going through it on the wild turf, but the women too. Add that to the childbirth. Kids raising kids, not knowing what a child worth. How you walk in their shoes when every mile hurt. Turn down the nigga, now you can't get respect from him. Think you should fuck just cause you got a check from him. It's bad, ask him where is his pad. Them broke niggas always bitter and it's sad. So what they done to you, they done to me, they done to us. So when I speak of real niggas, just know you one of us. Yes.
That's a rumor going around that Tyler Perry and Oprah are beefing. Well, let me tell you about this. Tyler, okay, told Oprah, bitch, if you don't have my money, we're going to have a problem. Ooh. Oprah said, what is the problem? Ooh. You said if I don't have your money, there was going to be a problem. So Oprah is standing her ground like, bitch, I'm in charge. Yeah, you know, you may have a $250 million studio over there that you film all your shows and movies and stuff on, but I have the empire. That's what Oprah said.
Oh, these are her exact words. Allegedly.
I made this up. But
allegedly.
I made it all up.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back, family, to the Black by the Man radio show. And as promised, we are here with our second guest, Mr. Kendrick Tilghman, Vice President of Black Professional Men, Inc., and he's also known as DJ 5-Star. That's the man on the wheels of steel. How you doing today, Mr. Tilghman?
Man, it's an honor to be here, man. I was trying to figure out how do I go live on the phone, so like everybody else is live.
Yeah. I think a couple of them went live. I think Leroy went live.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. I'm kind of a novice at it too, brother. You know what I mean? How's he go live, y'all? Just hit the live button.
Well, you go into your page, whichever page you want, and then you can, when you click there should be the option to be able to go live.
You go ahead and help me out.
Okay.
We'll make sure.
So yeah, man, we want to welcome to the BBD radio show, brother. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Get that man as well. So I explained to everybody earlier that Mr. McKenzie's here, and he's one of my BPM brothers, and also Mr. Kendrick is one of my BPM brothers, but he also happens to be the vice president. So it's an honor to have you here, brother.
It's my honor, man.
Appreciate that.
Great work you've been doing.
I appreciate that, brother. So let's talk. Let's give a little overview of BPM, man. Tell them a little bit about BPM.
Sure. Black Professional Men has been in existence since 1991.
Okay.
Started with Edwin Avant, Scott Phillips, and Drew Hawkins. They went to the mayor at that time, which was Kurt Smoke, and said, what are you going to do about all the killings here? What are you going to do about African Americans and growing? He said, well, what are you going to do about it?
Nice, right.
So those three gentlemen created Black Professional Men, and here we are 20 plus years later, $250,000 in scholarships to young kids. And it's just been amazing. And now it's about time for the new generation. I love how our founders take a step back and say, let the new generation of leaders come in and bring their fresh ideas. So
absolutely,
I would like to acknowledge our president, Hassan Diggs, for having the foresight and the vision to say, well, Kendrick, if our mission is to ensure the future of the African-American male, that includes Leroy McKenzie, that includes Michael, that includes Kendrick Tilghman, that includes people that we never even met before.
Absolutely.
And so with that, it opened the gambit of resources to become a model that takes your goals and your pain points to our network to be able to solve and help those goals and solve those pain points.
Absolutely.
And to me, I think that you can't even drum up anything a more stronger pipeline to success.
Yes, I agree 100%. I'm definitely a proud member of BPM, and shout out to our president Hassan Diggs. Very brilliant brother. I'm impressed every time I ever talk with him. We just had a greet and meet Saturday over at Breaking Bread off Washington Street. You know, going over some great ideas and things we want to do. And for those who are not familiar, make sure you go to Facebook and check out Black Professional Men, Inc. It's definitely a wonderful organization that's about the preservation of the young African-American male, but it's also a great networking of brothers and sisters, right? Because we got sisters that are part of this as well. And it's all about moving forward, you know, and I love that. So I'm honored to have my brothers here with me today, you know what I mean? So let's talk about some of the things we do in the community with these events that we do. because BPM does events, you know what I mean? We do Eat Black Baltimore, we do all black everything. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that, Kendrick.
Absolutely. One initiative that Hassan came and our executive committee just came together to say, all right, we need to create 3 initiatives that we're going to focus on. We understand that consistency beats creativity 10 times out of 10. And so the goal was to be consistent. And so the consistency in Eat Black Baltimore, Hire Black Baltimore, and Buy Black Baltimore started an energy that attracted resources to us.
Yes.
And Hassan would always say, Kendrick, you're like a resource magnet because you DJ, you speak, you're on 12 boards, and you're serving to so many people where it allows us to leverage people's problems and their goals to other resources that they wouldn't have thought of because we just been moving around and creating that energy. So the energy, positive energy attracts positive energy.
Yes, and I love that part of it. It was the first time in my life I had been around some brothers who was about that positive energy completely. And then I had the president say something to me that's never been said. Kendrick just mentioned it, and that is, what are your goals? Your goals are our goals.
Absolutely.
You understand what I mean? Like, it took a second for me to even process that because that's just words that have never been said to me before. You know what I mean? But it was so refreshing to hear that. You know what I mean? It was so refreshing to know, okay, there are actual people out here in our community that want to help you succeed, and they don't have a hidden agenda. Correct. You get what I mean? So that was one of the biggest things for me. I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
I call that mission-driven individuals.
Yeah, I like that.
We have a lot of ego-driven individuals in our culture, and the acronym that get ready. That's I got goosebumps. I was told by a good friend of mine, Stephen. He said, ego is an acronym for edging God out. And so when he said that, I said, I'm going to use that for the rest of my life.
I'm going to use that too.
Because the Most High was never about selfishness. It's about the collective.
It's about the collective.
And when I think of Black by Demand,
thank you, brother.
That's collective.
Yes.
It didn't say Michael by Demand. It said Black by Demand.
That's right.
And that's what, when you're mission driven, that's the energy it creates. And that's why you got that from Hassan. I've been like, look, boy, you've been in the military. Thank you for your service on Veterans Day.
Right.
I understand that. You have leadership roles. But we got to communicate better because the words itself only make up 6% of the feeling. It's like another 30% your tone and the rest is your body language.
Right. Okay.
So you got to understand the way people think. And I remember it was Maya Angelou that says they may forget what you said, they may forget what you did, but they won't forget how you made them feel.
Yes.
So the energy has to the energy has to stay at a point where we are only 3 generations in as African Americans.
Right.
Our counterparts are 17 generations in.
Right.
So we come in and say, hey, why aren't we here? We don't have the support. Why aren't we on it? Well, look, we got to learn to trust each other. We got to speak life into each other. That's why I greet you as a queen. I greet him and him as a king. That's where we come from. We got to speak life into each other, and we got to move in a direction that it harvests the energies and brings the weaknesses to the forefront. Because now that transparency allows us to bring strengths in to complement those weaknesses. Because at the end of the day, if the Most High brings Jesus here, he got 12 disciples. Why do you think you can do it by yourself?
Right.
Come on now.
Teamwork by yourself.
I'm just speaking facts. That's what the book said. It said they had 12 disciples.
Absolutely.
Wow. Why I keep thinking I can do this by myself?
Yeah.
I need a team. I need a network. I need organizations that are mission driven, and that found me the Black Professional Man.
Black Professional Men is where it's at. That is where it's at. Well, now y'all see why he's vice president. Self-explanatory. So yeah, man, I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited about our upcoming event. We got the Black-owned Small Business Expo coming up on the 30th. We got Eat Black Baltimore coming up on the 7th of December. For those who don't know about it, make sure you check it out on the Black Professional Men Inc. page on Facebook, man. These are great events for you to be a vendor at, for you to attend, for you to just come and check out BPM, see if it's something you might want to be a part of, because the feeling is awesome. You understand what I mean? Like, again, I hadn't experienced it until I became a member of BPM. And then just to be, welcomed in by brothers who say, look, you are brother. You know what I mean? We brothers, like we feed that positive energy off each other. And I can't even begin to tell you what it does to you mentally.
It does.
You understand what I mean? It really fuels your tank.
Yeah, it really does.
You get what I mean?
And the thing of it is, too, is not only are you, when you attend these events, you're not only supporting the organization, Black Professional Men, but you're supporting the community.
The community.
Supporting the community, and you're supporting black-owned businesses, Black by Demand.
That's right. BBD.
Exactly. I mean, and that's what it's about. I mean, Black Professional Men, like you said, with me, it is about what the organization represented that brought me. I mean, and because it's not just about us as men, it's about thinking, like we were talking about generations. It's not even, it's beyond us. And even the founders, that's what they thought about. They weren't thinking about them.
Right.
They were thinking about us now. And we have the responsibility to start thinking about those that are coming behind us so that they can do the same thing.
Absolutely. And BPM is paving the way for that. You understand what I mean? They creating the path, and I think it's nice for people to see brothers in a union with each other that has nothing to do with anything that's not advancing.
Right. Absolutely.
It's all about advancement. Because, we got unions with each other, but it's on different levels. Might not be the positive union that we need, you know what I mean? But, just the fact to have that brotherhood and learning. Like, I've been learning a lot as a BPM member. You know what I mean? Like you were saying about developing partnerships and developing relationships and networks with people who share the same ideals, because these people, they just don't fall out the sky. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be places, you got to go to events, and I stress that a lot for people who watch the show. Please attend these BPM events. Yep. Your future is at these events. You just don't know it. You don't know it. Whatever it is you're into, what you do, you're going to meet some people that think like you, may want to help you. Y'all can leverage off of each other. It's just a beautiful thing. And I'm glad to be a member, man. I'm proud. So,
and for us, that's our model. Our model is a NASCAR model. We want you to bring your sticker. We want to put our sticker on your car. We want you to put your sticker on our car, as long as you're mission driven. Yes. We're going to find someone else that has the need that you have.
Right.
And that's where we bring it together. We don't do that. We stay in our lane. We like the transparency and being amongst brothers who actually care for each other. We're not going to set you up for failure. Right. That's the biggest thing of when I remember giving people opportunities and they failed. Not only did it backlash on myself, I had to blame myself. I said, I didn't take the time to learn that king's passion or that queen's passion. I didn't take the time to learn their skill set and to know that their willpower would match the task that I needed them to do. And once you take that time to know, oh, I know this king got it, man. He can go in and do what he needs to do, whatever it may be, whether it's videography, photography, whatever skill set, handyman, whatever you may do, you do it at excellence. And excellence is a habit, not an act. So you can't do that. You can't expect excellence on that one-time thing.
Right. Write that down.
Do me a favor, brother.
Aristotle, he says, excellence is a habit, not an act.
Not an act.
Therefore, you are what you repeatedly do.
That's right. That's right.
We ain't going to break.
All right, look, stay with us, everybody. It's the Black by the Man radio show. Special guest, DJ 5-Star, Vice President of Black Professional Men, Inc., along with my man, Mr. Leroy McKenzie, also a member of BPM, with myself, and we are proud with my teammates. We'll be back after this break. Nice.
I love that.
Powerful.
This unknown to find who we really are. Crash into something new and take a break from our broken heart. Talk with the hip, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, try not to say too much. Let your love come down. If you wanna rule, it's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move. Don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song we already own. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. do whatever you like. Keep your hands off of me. Oh no, she couldn't. Keep your hands off of me. So let's slide, you and me alone, to find who we really are. Crash into something new. I got ballet banging up the car. So throw me a kiss, tell me you lie. I think we should go for another round. Baby, I wanna take you, but we gotta groove so we can lose the crowd. If you wanna rule, there's some rules you gotta live by. Live by. Stay true to your cool, make a move, don't wait on nobody else. And if it feels like a melody, sing a song, be my radio. And if you follow me there, I'll follow you back. Let the night unfold. I can tell that she can't get enough, show enough, she couldn't. Keep her hands off of me. Oh no, she couldn't. Keep her hands off of me. Touching hands till we dance in the dark, show enough, she couldn't. Keep her hands off of me. We do whatever you like. Keep her hands off of me. Oh no, she couldn't. Keep her hands off of me.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Black Bottom Man Radio Show. We are talking constructive or destructive with our special guest today, Mr. Kendrick Tilghman and Mr. Leroy McKenzie of BPM. So, Kendrick, let's give them some dates on the next upcoming events.
Got it. It's definitely the Small Business Expo. We actually need 30 more vendors. So if you are an entrepreneur or know an entrepreneur, please look up Small Business Expo. It's November the 30th at the 5th Regiment Armories.
Yes.
5th Regiment Armories. It's a free event for the community to support you, your entrepreneurship venture, or your family member's entrepreneurship venture. That's November the 30th at the
5th Regiment Armory.
Next will be Eat Black Baltimore. Eat Black Baltimore is December the 7th. We highlight black chefs, black eateries, black restaurants, and it's a partnership for other nonprofits. So you'll see Black by Demand and other super vendors that you can support, as well as support the nonprofits that we partner with. So the ticket price is usually $20. Or for nonprofits, if you want to use it for some fundraiser, we'll sell you tickets for $1. That's right, $1.
$1.
If you are a 501c3, you can get all these tickets for $1. And at 50 tickets and you sell them for $20, you do the math, that's $1,000 for your programming.
Wow.
And you do that 4 times a year. There's Eat Black Baltimore, the last one for 2019. That's December the 7th. And that will be at the Startup Nest.
Startup Nest,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Startup Nest. And then we have DJ Steam Expo, which is the December 14th. Now, if you don't know, my life's work has been at the STEM DJ. I found a way to combine my engineering degree with me being a professional DJ. And so I was able to do edutainment workshops across the country where I saw the value of having a product. So now we have a product that teaches 5th grade through 9th grade math while teaching you how to DJ. It's called Math Through Music.
Wow.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. I want to acknowledge Leaders of Tomorrow Center. Leaders of the Tomorrow Center of our first sponsorship. First sponsor for our DJ Steam Expo. So I want to thank Leaders of Tomorrow Center. Thank you so much for Dr. Brunson. He said, Kendrick, I didn't know you was from Emerson Village. I'm from Emerson Village. We on board. And now we're going to be doing a lot of positive things together. So December 14th at La Familia right there in Guilford. That's
a nice spot.
It'll be a free event for all of our community members, and you'll be able to see Matthew Music and highlight some STEM DJs that we've created through this program.
Very nice, very nice. So make sure you guys check out BPM on Facebook, and you can get all this information. And Brother Mike and the BBD team will be at the Expo, as well as Eat Black Baltimore and the Steam. We're gonna be there for all that. We're gonna be there.
Yes.
You know, so we need you guys coming out and supporting, and let's build. That's what it's all about. Let's build together. And these are great opportunities to build. Stay tuned to each show every week. I'm gonna be giving out tickets like I did for the last Eat Black Baltimore. You'll get a chance to win. We'll come up with a question for you to answer. Whoever answers the question, we send you a couple free tickets. You come hang out, you check out Eat Black Baltimore, you eat some good food, you network, you be a vendor. It's all up to you, but all we ask is that you get active with us. Let's do this. It's not as hard as you think it is. And I say that because I got a lot of folks in Harford County that are into cooking, being chefs, and I'm trying to convince them, come on, set your table up and Eat Black Baltimore. But a lot of times we're a little hesitant to pull the trigger because we think we got to have all I's dotted.
Oh, yeah.
And I try to explain to them that's not the case. What you need to do is get started.
I really am not a preacher, but all I know is that perfection is for the Most High.
Right. So, brother, Kendrick is on fire. Perfection is for the Most High.
You can't even, we can shoot for perfection all day, but perfection is for the Most High, so you always need to acknowledge your SWOT analysis, understand your strengths, your weaknesses, so you can see the opportunities, you can see those threats. SWOT analysis, you get that way you can identify strong partners. They have strengths for you, and that's what Black Professional Men is all about.
Absolutely.
We are a melting pot full of resources and opportunities for you to collaborate. Doctor, this is I'm gonna shut up right here. Dr. George Frazier, I like to quote strong people.
Absolutely.
Dr. George Frazier says, when 1 and 1 comes together to collaborate, 1 plus 1 only makes 2. He said, when 1 and 1 comes together to cooperate, 1 and 1 makes 11.
Oh, okay.
What happens is we got to stop doing powerful things in our silos. Come out of our silos, come out of our comfort zone, let's start to cooperate together. Collaboration only 1 plus 1. Collaboration.
Right.
Create all 11 communities. That's powerful. That's more powerful than these 2 people.
This is what we want you here for, brother. This is your business, people and all that. You cannot say too much. So as you can see, man, Kendrick is dropping some knowledge on us today. Back when we was younger, they called it dropping science. So we getting the science on us today. But I like that analogy, man. So I'm gonna have to use that one too. Okay, so that's the first one was what was the first one? Aristotle.
Aristotle says, you are what you repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is a habit, not an act.
There you go. Excellence is a habit, not an act. The second was 1 and 1 cooperate.
1 plus 1 when they collaborate only makes 2. 1 plus 1 when they cooperate makes 11.
All right, there we go. So collaboration equals 2. Cooperation equals 11. Yep. I like that. That's dope. Appreciate them words, brother. Appreciate them words. Kendrick, you want to let everybody know where they can check you out at, man?
Absolutely. I actually got a little email blast, so if you want to be a part of the email blast, just understand that it's info@DJ5star, and that's the number 5 STARR. I mentioned that because that's my .com. So if you can't remember my email, go to my website and you can send it right there. It's DJ the number 5 STARR.com. That's all my social media, my LinkedIn. That's everything you can find me on, and you can be connected in our email blast that has all our events that we collaborate. And if you want to add information and content, any of you want to add information, just reply to that email blast and I'll just put it in there because I want to support each other.
Very nice, brother. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate your words today. And again, remember, you guys can attend these events. You can get in contact with me if you need tickets at Black by Demand, the number 4 letter U at gmail.com. I'll help you get some tickets to the events that require tickets. The Black Expo is actually free. You don't even need a ticket for that. Just show up at the Armory, right? And be there and check out the vendors and be a part of the movement. It's a movement going on. You know what I mean? It's picking up steam, and I try to explain to people for potential vendors. Right now, we're in a position because these things are still picking up steam where you don't have to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted. But as things continue to grow, and then we get more and more people that are participating in things, that's when it's going to get a little tighter, where they're going to say, well, hey, we got to make sure you got this, got that. Because now we got 100 people trying to get 50 slots. You know what I mean? So take advantage of the movements that's going on amongst our communities right now and be a part of it and join it, because you don't know what creativity is within you until you start dealing with other people that help tap into that creativity. You get what I mean? You don't know what you really got to offer. Like I always say, don't wait to go to jail to find out you intelligent. You understand what I mean? You know what I mean? People, they don't know they're intelligent until they go to jail. You don't need to be in jail to find out you get a master's degree. Right. You can do that right now. So Kendrick, I thank you for joining us, brother, as well as Leroy McKenzie. And we're going to finish this up with constructive or destructive, man. So you want to participate with us?
Absolutely.
You know? So let's move on to this next one here.
Uh-oh.
So constructive or destructive. We just decide if these things are constructive or destructive within the black community. All right, so the next one on the list was Kanye West. Kanye West. Constructive or destructive? Now you know I bring him up because of
he dropped his album.
Yeah, he's a major piece on the chessboard, right? So he has an influence over millions of black people. At the same time, we know he's on the Trump situation, right? And then also at the same time, he just switched over to being a gospel singer.
Most High.
Yeah, he switched over to the Most High. So where are we at with Kanye now? Because it's like 1 minute it's like you want to say, oh no, and then he does something else and say, oh okay, yeah. Like, you know, where are we at with Kanye right now? How do we feel about Kanye?
I don't know how to feel about Kanye. Strictly just from the music aspect that he's been putting out, Sunday service, I really amazing. But anything outside of that, I don't know.
The Most High is about forgiveness. So as long as we don't go back to the Trump thing about our ancestors, like that kind of blew me when he was in. If you'd asked me a year ago, I'd have said destructive.
Right.
But
he's going
this album that he put up,
right?
That's about.
And I heard the album was good.
I got it right here. You know I'm a DJ. Like I played it, and it had some records on there.
Number 1, number 3, number 5. I think.
See.
So he's moving back into constructive. Go for it, brother. Go for it.
Now the thing about it, he had an interview. I think he got small. I think it's Fat Man School. I think that's his name. Or he has a radio show. Can't remember the guy's name, but he made sense. He said everybody. The thing about America is what we tend to forget. You have right to say what you want to say. You have free choice. Now, if he chooses to deal with Trump, that's on him.
Right.
Because I don't deal with Trump. I shouldn't throw him under the bus. You know what I'm saying? But what he was saying is that basically everybody's coming for me, but not the rappers talking about drug dealing, calling women bees, calling women whores and stuff like that.
Okay.
You're condemning me because of how I feel, free choice. But not condemning the people, putting our black people in prisons, in the ground, and so forth and so on.
I agree with that.
So the interview made sense.
And glorifying it.
Exactly.
Glorifying it big time.
But see, he said, basically got the word got an arrow on the bullseye on my back because I voted for Trump. And he said, I want for all people to get out of certain situations, be able to have your own mind, your own thinking, to step outside the box. But I'm condemned because I did that. And everybody else is supporting all this gang violence, drugs, and so forth and so on. So I agree with that. Now the Trump thing, never. But what he said made perfect sense.
Okay, all right. Constructive or destructive?
It's pros and cons to Kanye.
Because some days he comes through, and it makes sense, and then some days he's just all the way left.
Right.
Okay, all right.
That's why I said a year ago, destructive. Right now, at this current stage with that album,
constructive. Okay. See, I like that approach because you're looking at it as
then
who has
right now.
But what happens with the album, it's very good, but also they had the church sermons where he's sending $50 a plate and they get a little piece of chicken and a piece of bread. What you can do for that? That's the thing about it. Like he's up and he's down. Album's dope. Food's terrible.
Well, they all full off that Popeye's chicken anyway.
So it's kind of iffy for me. So I'm gonna go with the
Mr. McKenzie, what you think about Kanye?
I don't. But here's the thing. I mean, the brother. I would say honestly. Y'all, with you all the way that y'all are talking, you know who you all remind me of? I mean, remind me of who he reminds me of in the way we talk about him. It reminds me of Pac.
Okay.
Right.
Because Pac, when he was out, he was calling women bees and hoes and all of that. But then he comes up with Mary had a baby.
Right.
Keep your head up.
Right.
All of those, and he had this duality
he showed
about
the side of
he had a duality about him and everything. And maybe Kanye is similar to that in what he's done and the things that he's doing. Because there was some of his music that that I loved. What was that? Was it Late Graduation? I think was the first one. Love that. love that music, but it is something that shifted. I totally, totally disagree with with his political views. And where he stands with that and whatever he may be doing. The current music, I haven't really heard. The only thing that I remember seeing.
I play one. Yeah.
When he was down at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church down in Atlanta, because he was at Pastor Jamal Bryant's church, and he did the service in there, and I mean the music was just the music was live, and it shows the talent that he does have and everything, and the talent that he does have and the gift that he does have, but the question becomes then, okay, what? At the end of the day, to me, it's about what do you believe in?
Okay.
You can't. To me, it's not about straddling the fence. What is your character? You can have. We all know, and I'm gonna say the name, and that's all I'm gonna say is R. Kelly. Love the music.
Right.
Folks love his music, love the music, but folks have just cast him to the side now because of everything that he has gone through and that he's going through. Right. You cast him to the side, but a lot of people will say, well, no, Kanye's kind of, well, is it? Right. Is it, is it different from what, because if he's agreeing with somebody who doesn't have the country's our country's interest at heart, what does that say about that person?
Right.
That's a good.
So those things. I mean, honestly, I can't say he's constructive.
Okay.
I can't say constructive. I'm gonna say destructive.
Say destructive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Miss Dennis, what do you think? Oh, go ahead, brother.
If you pulled me in, I'm going destructive.
You going destructive? Okay. How do you feel?
Just because I don't vibe with Kanye's outside of his music. The whole Trump thing, that's just where he lost me.
Yeah.
Whether
So you think he's destructive?
Destructive.
I'm going to say he's constructive. I'm going to agree with Kendrick. And I'm going to tell you why. Because anything that he did that I would label him as destructive, it really didn't hurt us as a people. We just didn't like it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we just didn't like that he supported Trump and the things that he said, so forth and so on. But I don't think he did anything that hurt us as a community of people. And I mean, if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can do things that hurt you as a community of people.
Because you mentioned him having the influence.
Right. Yes.
Does his influence?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good.
When it comes to, and then you take his influence, then you take what he is standing behind.
Is that good for us?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But then look at what our culture glorifies, and then match it to the way we are targeted via media.
Yep.
Like look last 20 years. How many times have you seen somebody on television that had a tattoo on their face? That center of influence makes this kid say, that's cool, I'm gonna get a tattoo on my face. But you want to work in corporate America. That's how you gonna do that. If you want to get a tattoo on your face and you want to build your own brand, then that's your brand.
Right.
Then that's your lane. But you can't ride the fence and you get tattoos on your face. Oh, but I want to work for this Fortune 500 company. You're unmarketable.
Right.
But the media showed that for you to follow.
And that made you think that was acceptable.
And it made you think that was acceptable.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Because you know who was the sacrificial lamb for that? Allen Iverson with the NBA. When Allen Iverson used to wear braids and tattoos, his chains with his street gear, he was the worst person in the NBA. Like they straight look like they really hug is inappropriate. And then now everybody looks that way. But when Allen kicked it off, he was the worst thing ever.
Didn't he have to wear the sleeve just to cover up his tattoos?
Yeah, cover up his tats. They put him through it. Now it's just commonplace. Everybody's got tattoos and all that good stuff. I wonder sometimes, is Kanye a genius? And the reason why I say that is because when you research the history of geniuses, the people who were familiar with that genius will say, that dude was weird. You get what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a little weird. He was a little, eccentric, so forth and so on. So, are we dealing with a dude that really got some genius qualities about him? And that's why sometimes he, goes left field, in our opinion, with the way he sees the world.
We just don't understand what...
Yeah, so that's why I'm trying to, figure out.
Or could it just be a marketing gimmick? I mean...
You know what? It is Hollywood. You're right, brother. It could just be all marketing.
In the beginning, it was George Bush hates black people.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you went off on Sway's thing talking about you don't got all the answers. The next thing you go off with wearing the mega hat and the blonde hair. Now your gospel sing all of a sudden. You the one.
But wasn't he the one that took? I'm gonna let you finish, but Taylor Swift. And so all those things created eyeballs on him. Right. The point of marketing is eyeballs.
And you look the fact that of who he's married to now, who is one of the, let's say, I'm not gonna call her a marketing queen or whatever, but she's been known for doing just that.
Right.
And it can be. It's some people think that's no matter what the publicity is, whether it's positive or negative, it's worth it because my name is out there. I do the most outrageous thing. And it will get people to look at me, notice me, because that's what social media has a lot of people thinking.
Whether you
like you were just saying,
me or love me, my name is still
still
out there.
Right. My name is
And
still
I'm
out
trying to
there.
imagine if I put the word out and said, tune in to the BBD radio show next week, I'm going to have Kanye West here. I'd have more viewers.
Absolutely. I gotta see that.
So
You have
hard for me to
outside
say
the building.
destructive. You know what I'm saying? Because he does have an impact. You know what I
And he
mean?
went back to his first blow up album, Jesus Walks.
And that was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was dope.
And now all of a sudden you go back in the intro of his first album. This album right now is.
That's why I got up right there every hour right now. It's queued up. It's queued.
I haven't heard
It's queued up right here. Let me play.
I wonder how good
can I
people
play
hear
it?
it. Yeah, go ahead and play it. Kanye said he going gospel. Okay, Kanye.
When I heard this, I was like, Constructive. Okay.
Right?
Wow.
He don't even rap on this. Nope.
That's the thing. Just based off of this, off the choir alone.
He's probably conducting this.
Right. Yeah, I think he might be a genius and we just don't know.
Well, is he a genius or is he just gifted?
Okay, good question. What would be the difference?
I can't remember.
He's definitely gifted. He is definitely gifted.
It's two different words. Gifted and genius, two different words.
Yeah.
Because we have to be careful about what we use to what we define people as, and we want to throw around a lot of words that that had significant meaning. You talk about genius. I mean, when I think genius, I'm thinking Albert Einstein, and this one is one of the greatest minds to me, and that's Dr. Cornel West.
Okay,
that's genius to me.
Kanye's a musical genius.
This dude's mind is just on a totally different level. Now I get it. I mean, the music, you can't. That's not something that anybody can just do. Right. Trust me. We can't just sit there. I mean, that's not something that you see every day, or even. So it is. I think that's a gift.
Yeah.
To be able to do that. Now, does it go to that genius level where you just totally be like, wow, that's on another level? I don't know. Same thing with like I said, I'll throw his name up again, R. Kelly.
Right.
People wanted to call him a musical genius because of the way he was created, the way he created music. He was gifted. I think he's gifted too. But I don't know if I would call them genius.
So you think genius for you would be somebody that has more of the impact on society as far as advancing society versus just entertainment?
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I understand. So you would definitely have to do what she said and put musical in front of the word genius.
Right.
It's a musical genius. Gotcha. Okay, so Kanye, I'm going to still give you constructive. So we got two constructive.
I'm still give you constructive.
They say you better go to fence.
I don't know where I'm at.
We tied up right now.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, so that's a good one. You know what I mean? I didn't know how well that one was going to go, but you know what I mean. But I just think he's an interesting character.
That's good stuff.
You know what I mean? I think he's an interesting
character. No, he really is.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
It's hard to predict what's going to happen next with him. You get what I mean? But right now, like Kendrick said, constructive. He's on the gospel road, you know. So I guess he's going to put out some music that's not so secular. You know what I mean? And talk about the Most High. Now, I've seen people on Facebook, and I'm sure it's all conspiracy theory type stuff, right? But they're saying secretly he's trying to get people to worship him as the Most High. Have y'all seen anything on that?
I haven't seen anything, but I feel like Kanye has always had this God complex where he feels like he has that sort of influence with
He
people.
was known for the interview where he kept saying, I am God.
Right, so
he said, I should be in the Bible.
So the fact that you say that, it's not so far-fetched to believe that that could be what he is intending.
Wow.
Just because he's always had that, you know, I'm holier
Kanye
than
don't
thou,
do
or
it.
that godly complex.
What his problem is that he used a lot of word game with it. He pay attention to like Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He put his.
That's what they was focusing on.
Right.
He put his name in it.
And then using that, and he said, I am a God. You can say this person's a God or whatever you have you. Then he also used a couple other things. You know, 5%ers call themselves God. So.
Oh yeah, I understand the scripture that says you're a God.
Yeah. See,
I mean, I know what it means. You know what I'm saying?
He tries to do that crazily. So a person like me, like I can sit up and say, y'all three brothers know more than me. I can admit that, and I can use the stuff that y'all have. Certain things I just don't know. Now, if I'm a person out there, and he says that, and he breaks it down to where I have lack of knowledge, I'm going to rock with him.
You think he was influenced by Jay? Because really, Jay-Z was the first to do that with Hova. Jehovah, right? That was his mentor.
Yep.
And you know, that is Jehovah Witness, you know, believe that that's the Most High's name.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. So, you know, I'm thinking that's where he kind of got that from. And I mean, even Jay-Z got his from jazz. So it's all about the person that was your mentor. Wow. And then they taking on part of it. Because Jay-Z's name is Sean Carter. Right. Right. His boy that brought him in was Jazz. That's why he named himself Jay-Z. Right. So you got Jay-Z being Hova and Kanye's his protege.
I never.
J-Ho, Kanye.
Ring the bell
Wow. I'm just thinking, you know what I mean? Like, what's the influence on this? So, yeah, I don't know.
That's what I'm undecided. That made a good point right
All right, so we tied up with Kanye, you know, constructive or destructive. Kanye, give us a call. Help us out here. Say something crazy or something. You know? All right, so we'll move on. No problem. So we got one more for constructive or destructive, and we'll use this one to wrap everything up. So constructive or destructive, Black Friday. Black Friday. Now, I know someone has to know the original of Black Friday. Yeah. What it really is. Okay, so Black Friday was originally the day that you got the best price on slaves. You know what I mean? So that's why they called it Black Friday, because on that Friday after Thanksgiving, they got the slaves at the best price they had it all year. Now, I think it's ironic. That's what it was. It was Black Friday, right?
Yeah, you just schooled me on that one.
I
didn't know that. Wow.
Black Friday was originally the day that you got the slaves at the cheapest price. So on Black Friday, you get you a buck slave for $1.50 instead of $300. You get you a winch for, you know, $125 instead of $250. You know, and I think it's ironic that that's the origins of it, right? And then when you look at current day Black Friday, it's black people that they make the most money off of. It's us out there in them lines, you know what I mean, stacked up, so forth and so on.
And see, I mean, the thing too that from the, I guess, the business perspective on that was it was supposed to be the day that the day that the companies went into the black as far as making a profit.
Yeah.
Now, all of what you added to the original one.
Yeah.
Wow, that one took me. I was like, wow.
You thought you knew
That's going deep there. I mean,
there are actually, you can actually do the research and find literal copies of the posters that they would put out on Black Friday, saying Black Friday, you know, such and such South Carolina, we got $300 that we letting go for $1.50 each. You know what I mean? So this was what Black Friday really is.
And the buck, if you don't understand, the buck is the biggest black.
Yeah, the biggest black man we got. You know?
They call him like, you know, when you get the fame, we call you a buck because you strong. They'll rub you down, have you all oiled up out there.
Right.
You look presentable on this day.
Absolutely.
And they tell you, right, running water.
So we was the target.
Wow.
And we still are the target. Now it's just consumer merchandise. You know what I mean? Can I get a bell on that? Bang. So I just thought what do we think about Black Friday? And you know, on Black Friday, most of the retail businesses make more money on that day than they do all year long.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the hustle of the year right there.
But that's where they talk about going from the red to the black. That that one day takes them. You can take them literally from the red into the
One day. And of course, you know, again, we're still the target. We're out there. We're the ones buying it. You know what I mean? And it's certain people looking like, hey, it's Black Friday. Look at all the black people lining up, you know what I mean, to get these products. So, yeah, there's that thing. You know what I mean? That left everybody quiet.
If we go back to the Popeye situation, you can't listen. Black Friday's gonna be 10 times worse,
right?
Because you get these TVs, these 40-inch TVs,
right,
for $125, 60 for like $250. So imagine we're on the front of the lines fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Number one consumer. We're the number one consumer. We spend $1.6 trillion a year making.
It's up to 1.6 now.
Yeah, 1.6. That's the last time I checked. That was reported by One United Bank. The president, CEO, she came forward and gave the actual totals.
The numbers.
Yeah, gave the totals.
Yeah.
Okay, look, so we talking about Black Friday on constructive or destructive, and right now it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, we got to marinate on this.
Stay with us. We'll be back after this. It's the BBD Radio Show. We'll be back. Yeah, that's a
tough. Wow.
You dropped the bomb on that one.
Listen to this flashback of Skyline Radio Show.
So where we at? Where we talk about the effects and what's going on in these schools?
Yeah.
And what people don't understand. Just real briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about what people say bullying is or is not. So bullying comes in many forms. It's a teasing, it's the cyberbullying, it's the texting, it's the phone calls, it's the posting of pictures and people's personal information to pretty much cause them harm, to have them feel insecure. It's the sex assaults that people actually put out there. There are physical assaults, and there are mental assaults and emotional assaults. And what I like to remind individuals that any aggressive behavior towards anyone that is unwanted and unwarranted, and an individual asks you to stop. Let's stop there. Stop.
And they should be respecting that.
Respecting that and respecting yourself, because when you're able to respect another person, you're able to respect yourself. Right. And the way that you're able to show that respect is that you know that you have a gift and you know you're uniquely made and that you matter, and then you also acknowledge that the next person beside you matters as well.
Right.
You know, and we lose that sometimes. Bullying is a behavior that underestimates the lives and legacy of you. I'm sure when they was bullying me, and I'm sure when they was bullying you, they didn't understand who you're going to become later on. I didn't know.
Right, because I'm popping. I can't. All right, let me tell you, all those people who felt like they wanted to say whatever to me, look at me now. It's like, no, y'all don't understand, but I've been through some things, okay?
And you know what? No. I applaud you and I salute you, because a lot of times we do not take the time to say, I'm okay, and I'm okay with me, and there's nothing wrong with me, and I'm amazing, and I'm blessed, and I'm strong, and I matter.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Skyline Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
White keys only have this bitch jumping.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel. Let's do it. If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
All right, welcome back everybody to the Black by the Man radio show. In case you missed it from the top, we was talking constructive or destructive today with our special guest, Mr. Kendrick Tilghman from BMP. Black BMP. BPM. I'm getting dyslexic. Black Professional Men Inc. And also my other brother from BPM, Mr. Leroy McKenzie. And we're finishing up on Black Friday. So we're trying to decide if Black Friday is constructive or destructive. based on what we see today and its origins, this was the day you could get the slaves at the cheapest price. So you could get you a big strong buck or a beautiful winch, at a lower price on this particular day, and that's why they called it Black Friday. But of course today it represents something different. It represents moving out of the red into the black, because on that particular day they make more sales than they do all year long. So where are we at with this? Of course, I'm going to say destructive, because I'm stuck on the origins. You know what I mean? I'm stuck on the origins. I think the deals are great, but also a lot of us have been hurt showing up to these spots on Black Fridays, trying to rush through the doors, getting trampled, so forth and so on. And if you know anything about retail, like, you're really not getting the deal you think you are. You know what I'm saying? They're really, it's marked up 300-400%. So they mark it down 200%. You don't know you still paid 100% more than what it was actually worth. So
And
that's
not
the
only that, the deals that you get for these TVs, those TVs are made specifically for Black Friday. And they're only designed to last until the next Black Friday.
Oh my goodness.
So it's all
very true.
Y'all getting a lesson today.
And
you ain't getting no real good.
Look, I'm gonna point out your psychology here, right? See, notice you said TV, because psychologically, that is one of the main items that black people focus on getting cheap. Black Friday is about
that's
all
one of the,
items.
that's like
but she
one of the main
specifically said these TVs, right? Because you're in your psychic,
Well, no, that's just because I know that TVs are electronics, but TVs
we're there for the electronics. The TVs are the ones that people want the most.
$350,
right?
And listen, for a man, not to be disrespectful, for a man, 16-inch TV is $350.
Right.
You put in your living room, you in awe to the next year.
Especially when they say, "Well, you got 25."
You love it watching the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl and the NBA Finals on that big HD TV.
You and your son like this, watching it, because you in all this big TV, and you telling everybody,
right?
I got 3 in my house, man. I'm gonna do this, we're gonna do that. The TV is where it's at.
Right. So so for me, it's destructive because of its origin, and because on that particular day they get so much money out of my people and they don't give anything in return.
Right.
So for me, it's destructive. Mr. Woodson, Black Friday.
Because the real meaning, destructive.
Okay. Vice President, Mr. Tilghman.
I was gonna say constructive till you told me the real meaning. now I'm like, I'm anti Black Friday. Like, don't even talk to me about Black Friday. I talk about Small Business Saturday the next day. Talk about that Small Business Saturday.
Miss Dennis.
Because of the root of it, and because of our behavior and everything that just goes along with Black Friday, I'm going to say destructive.
Destructive. All right, Mr. McKenzie, it's on you.
I'm destructive as well.
Destructive. All right, so Black Friday, you are destructive.
Black Friday's destructive,
yes,
y'all.
sir.
But I'll see you at Walmart.
Because we sitting at
He gonna be at 5 a.m. He gonna be on Facebook talking, I got my TV.
He's not even gonna risk going out. He's gonna be right there on Cyber Monday and getting his deal.
Like we're live at Black Friday at Walmart.
They got Cyber Monday. I forgot.
Cyber Monday.
Yeah, so it's Cyber Monday and then Giving Tuesday.
Is it good?
Okay. I didn't know about Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah, I never heard.
I like Cyber Monday.
That's
why
Cyber Monday for tech and Giving Tuesday for that's a nonprofit.
They got to be Friday.
Yeah. Giving Tuesday, a lot of nonprofits do campaigns.
Yeah, so that's,
I didn't know that.
So now I'm Xing out Black Friday off my schedule. It goes Small Business Saturday to Cyber Monday to Giving
and a Giving Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
good.
nice.
That's good
Giving
stuff
Tuesday,
right there.
I like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to learn more about that one.
Yeah. That's for all nonprofits.
Okay,
that's the day that you want to write off your biggest donations.
Got you. Nice. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up, man. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. And Mr. McKenzie, you want to let everybody know where they can check you out at?
Sure, absolutely. They can check me out on social media, Facebook, JNF Enterprises, Twitter at JNF Enterprises 1, Instagram at JNF Enterprises, my website, www.jnfenterprises.com.
Nice. Make sure you check Mr. McKenzie out. He can help you out with your business and help you get on the right track, build that confidence, and also give you information about BPM. And last but not least, my Vice President of BPM, Mr. Kendrick Tilghman. Go ahead and let them know where they can check you out at, brother. This is DJ 5 Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm on 12 board, so you can just connect with me at DJ
There
number
it is.
5 STARR.
There it is.
Spell it correctly. It's the number 5.
Aldo, make sure you get a good shot on that.
So my email is info@dj5star.com. dj5star.com is the website. Follow me on social media. Any social media, it's all the same. You can get to me that way.
Oh yeah, and it looks good. I'm looking at the playback right here.
Presentation was dope, right?
Yeah.
I'm on this.
And like I said, he's not vice president for no reason.
I just want to say one thing though. Today's
Esther, what's
vibe
going
was
on?
just like crazy good.
Nice.
And I like sitting here with everybody is just like when you feel it, then you feel it.
You ready to go
I
out
know
and
you guys. I know you
separate.
guys can see it on camera, but sitting here and being able to talk like that means that we really have to come together as people and support these events because it's contagious. I feel like I want to go out this right now. Like it's lit. I'm so like hype right now. It's not even funny, but
That's what's
that's
up.
good. That's
And
what's
that
up.
is a big time coming from you because you are millennial, so
Yes.
we definitely want younger generations to be interested in the things we
Definitely.
bring to the table. So thank you very much for that comment.
No
and I'm
problem.
sure Mr. McKenzie and Mr. Tilghman
Absolutely.
appreciates that
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
That's what's up. All right, so it's a wrap, everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us today on the BBD Radio Show. On behalf of my teammates, Mr. Derrick Woodson, and my co-host, Samantha Glam by Sam. I was about to say, co-host. Sorry. Samantha Glam by Sam. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Come back next week. We'll be back, and I'll have those tickets for you for Eat Black Baltimore, where you guys can win some free tickets. And y'all know what's up. I'll catch you on the flip side. It's the black side.
Yes.
Peace.
I need to put
Take a minute and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange radio show.
Any trouble because I get into any trouble, but I had a problem that this then became a discussion at that workplace environment. Now, the discussion was I should have been more sensitive. In what way was my first response? And I guess when I had to meet with that said person who had the issue with the person who was said leader of that organization.
Okay.
I said, well, to that person, how would I have known that? Well, you should have asked.
I think so. You want my opinion?
It was a circle, and I was willing to go on that merry-go-round.
You are better than most.
Yeah.
I think that's normal when you're in a group and there's norming. Most of the time when you're in new work environments or you're in a space where you're getting to know people, it's normal now to ask for people's preferred pronouns. You wouldn't have known
normal
that.
To who? What is normal?
Well, you work in social. You
but
work
I don't
in social
feel the
innovation
need to give
and
my pronouns, so it's not normal to me.
You don't, but I think because I feel like the person was probably offended because they felt like you were not honoring whoever they are, right? But you wouldn't have known that.
Still to this moment, I don't know what their pronouns are. So in that
They didn't offer
circle, we still don't know. So I'll go as far as saying I perceived it to be a she.
Perceive them to be a she.
Them.
Yeah.
Her, him, they,
them. It seems like they, them would be the easiest one on this one.
Join us every Monday and Friday at 2 p.m. for the Artist Exchange radio show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
I be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I be up in the way. 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 I be up in the way.
proceed with caution. Tired of lane, I'm exhausted. Poppin' Zanny's and sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going where the f I'm going. Out of space where I'm f going. Wait, where I'm going? Wait, where I'm going? Out of space where I'm going. Out of space where I'm going. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Can I talk to you? I've been working hard. I've been up all night. I just been so high. I feel nothing off the sands. Withdrawals killing me. I need something to sleep. Need you on top of me. I need to get high. Dreams designer all night. Chanel should be haunting my dreams. Wearing my clearing my sleep. I'm not who you need me to be. Indigo sound for the team.